Okay, Doc, we are back with the Doc and the Boxer, episode 48. I'm Andrew Singh Kooner, and this is
The Doc.
the Doc, Len Green.
You got it.
He has a name too.
Dr. Len Green.
Dr. Len Green. Yeah.
But I like the Doc.
Doc and Boxer.
It works for me, yeah.
That's our titles. So Doc, Saturday, we're gonna go over the fights that happened on Saturday, and what a slew of fights that were happening on Saturday. We're talking like four different cards, I think it was.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boxing.
Yeah, even without the Teofimo Lopez Cambosos fight, there was still a lot of fights. And man, some good ones, eh?
Some definitely good. Always boxing is full of, and next weekend we're looking at another master, like awesome, sick fights again. Two of them.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, and what we're talking about, Gervonta Tank, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So, Doc, let's just jump right into it and talk about first the one card on Showtime, and that was the PBC card. And this would be, I know the DAZN card happened earlier earlier, not a lot earlier, but earlier, and that was Jaime Munguia. But we're gonna talk about this fight first, and this is in his hometown of Houston, Texas, at the Toyota Center. We're talking Jamal.
Oh, yeah.
Charlo. He improves to 32-0 and 22 KOs, retaining his WBC middleweight title with a unanimous decision over Juan Mastias Montiel, 22, who falls to 22-5 to 22 KOs. The scores was a shutout, was a complete shutout at 120 to 108, 119, 109, 118, 109.
Yeah.
We'll do what we normally do, and we'll ask your opinion first, Doc, on this fight.
Yeah. So let's first focus on Montiel.
Yeah, he was very awkward, right?
I have never seen a fighter with a boxer with that style ever. And how many times did he square up? Right? And then fling a shot in there, look like he's off balance, but we got to hand it to this kid. He's got a chin.
Definitely.
For some reason, with that crazy technique, he's got power. I mean, he's 22 wins and 22 KOs.
Yeah, that was the thing with him. He had the power.
And he really did. And I don't know where that power came from. It just may be genetic, but it did not come from his technique. And sometimes some of his shots he threw to Charlo's body, you saw Charlo kind of wince or bend over. He had one round, it looked like he buzzed Charlo. I think that's the one round he probably won. I think it was the 7th or something.
Yeah.
But obviously a good chin. A barn burner, goes 12 rounds. Yeah, he didn't win, but another tough a Mexican with an amazing chin and durability, and he kept coming forward. Sometimes Charlo in the corner looked a little bit like breathing heavy, but I think Charlo, came clearly won the 12th round, so he couldn't have been completely exhausted.
Yeah.
What did you think about Montiel? And then we'll talk more about Charlo.
I definitely felt the same way. I mean, the guy was so unorthodox. It was ridiculous. Like, it was crazy to even see. And you're like, wow, this guy is a fighter. But I mean, he did the last 12 rounds with Jamal Charlo. And that unorthodox style of his is what makes him effective. Plus, he punches hard that even Charlo talked about it. This is what Charlo says, is like, I take like a real warrior to get in the ring with me. No, it takes a real warrior to get in the ring with me. He fought each and every round as hard as he could. I could tell in his eyes that, he was a true warrior from the beginning and that he wanted to fight. It didn't matter what I hit him with. Oh, man, come on. I love that spirit. Hey, man, he's going to be great. He's gonna be great, man. That's what he was saying in regards to him. I think like that, and from a family of boxing, Fernando Montiel, who we know like he was a great fighter, but a smaller fighter, eh? And
Much
then,
smaller.
yeah, much smaller. But he was working the corner too, and I'm like, he looks like a normal sized person.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Not a 115 or
No, which is weird. Is that the same? That's the same Montiel that got knocked out, but with that left hook
by
from
Donaire.
yeah.
And where he was on convulsing on the canvas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't like seeing that happen
that's scary.
for anybody. But
Yeah.
yeah, totally a different chin than the
And
Montiel.
that's his nephew. It's his nephew too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what a chin.
Sorry. Yeah. His uncle is Fernando.
Uncle.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Now, as far as Charlo goes, I mean, that was a tough fight. That was not an easy fight, even though he won every round. He had to be on his game. I felt that there were times when Charlo lost form sometimes. Did you notice that at all?
Yeah, one thing too, Doc, you're right about that. He did, and there was time like when you're fighting at home, like he was fighting at home.
Yeah,
you have an immense amount of pressure on you. It's almost better for the opponent because he doesn't have that pressure on him. You have mass amounts of pressure fighting at home. Yeah. I remember myself one time when I fought in Windsor in an amateur fight in my hometown, and I had all my friends there and stuff, whatever. And I was trying to knock this guy out, and he made me look bad. And that's what happens.
Gotcha. The adrenaline gets going. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he cannot do that in future fights with highly technical guys. What do you think about, he's fighting at 160. I don't know why this is happening. Now it's happened twice. David Benavidez online or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
He's talking about, fighting Charlo. Well, Benavidez is at 168. The same thing when what's his name? Andre Demetrius gives a challenge to Canelo. Canelo's at 168. He's not coming down to 160.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm wondering, where do you see Charlo fighting next? Or who do you think he fights next? Or who would you like to see him fight next at 160?
Well, okay, so the 160, another weight class that's stacked with fighters. I mean, boxing is stacked weight classes.
Yeah,
with a lot of great talent. At the 160 weight class, I just have to write it down just so I don't forget. But you got all the champions. WBO is Demetrius Andre, GGG, Triple G, Golovkin, IBF, Ray Murata, the WBA, Charlo, WBC. Then we also have the WBA regular title, Zanley Lara, and Chris Eubank Jr. with the WBA interim, like all these belts.
Yes,
but any one of these fights, Charlo against any one of these guys, it needs to happen next for Charlo. He needs to fight somebody that's stacked. But having said that, like he did beat Rosario, quite convincingly too. And Rosario he beat Julian Williams, and he's a good fighter. He was, and he knocked him with that body stab to the body.
Yeah.
He was like convulsing on the ground. Like it was funny.
It hit him right in the solar plexus.
Yeah.
So any of those guys, that's what I'm saying. Like Jamal is he's a top guy at 160.
He is.
And we've seen that. But the public and us fans, we want to see some bigger names.
It has to be one of these bigger names. It has to be. And like he knows that. I mean, he's pretty much sold out that arena where he was fighting at, and that's his hometown in Houston. The Toyota said he's immensely popular. So let's see him with one of these guys.
Absolutely.
Unify
like
all the belts.
Yeah. Let's unify everything ultimately.
Yeah. That's what we need. We need unifications. And by the way, there's so many titles. That was his fifth defense of his WBC title. That's amazing. He did come in overweight at the when you get one. I don't know how it is in the same different sanction bodies have different rules, I'm sure, but you get a chance to try your weight and then go for the official. But when he tried it, he was overweight, and then he came under. So some people, there was speculation like, is he overlooking this opponent? But I guess not. I mean,
I
like,
don't think so. To go 12 rounds like that, he must have trained hard.
yeah,
He must have. And
for sure.
His team knows. You can't overlook anybody. You train like you're training for Triple G sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it did, because he went 12 rounds pretty good, and he had a little bit of a reputation for gassing in the late when he goes after 6, but he did really well.
Yeah, I was impressed. It was a good performance. Charlo threw a career high 769 punches and landed 258 of those. Montiel threw 427, landed 127. Most of the why I was saying is like he may have been overlooking this opponent and stuff, and definitely other people everyone's suggestion on this fight was that he'd be a knockout, because they have a common opponent, and that's Hugo Santillo Jr. And Montiel had a 10-round split draw with him, and Charlo knocked him in the second round. So I mean, we know in boxing you can't compare opponents and stuff, styles make fights and all that.
Yeah. And situations, circumstances are different. I mean, I don't like doing that,
Yeah. Charlo's last fight was a unanimous decision over Sergey Derevyanchenko.
Yeah.
So that was a big win for him too.
That was a very big win. And Derevyanchenko, he fought Triple G.
Yeah, and they had.
I thought he won that fight. Actually,
he did. I thought Golovkin deservedly.
Did you?
Yeah. I watched that one in Bali on my honeymoon. It was it's Asia, right? So he's Golovkin, Kazakhstan or whatever. He's popular around those parts. So they had his fights. They had his fight on midday.
Yeah, Monty must have been so happy.
Yeah, she watched it with me. I think I made a mistake. It's not. It's the other Charlo, Jamal that beat Rosario.
Okay.
Rosario. I think it was that one. I get them mixed up, and I get that one mixed up.
Yeah. Well, they're twins, and their names are so similar.
Yeah. I mean, Charlo too, just quickly about Charlo, like if you look at the people that he's defeated, his record's is really good. Dennis Hogan, he beat, and he was at the time he was 28-2. Brandon Adams was 28-1, and Charlo knocked out Hogan in the 7th round TKO. Brandon Adams unanimous decision. Matt Cordova 28-1, he KO'd him in the 2nd. Hugo Santillo KO'd in the 2nd. Julian Williams KO in the 5th. Austin Trout unanimous decision. So good fighter.
Yeah, very good record. Tough guys. Now he's got to go for the elite guys. He's got to defend and go for their belts. He's got to go for belts now.
Yeah, that's it. No, the public does not want to see any other fight. Just the best of the best fighting, the best story.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd love to see him at this stage. Now I'd like to see him fight Triple G.
Yeah, Triple G is already booked for 2 fights, scheduled for 2 fights coming up. I think both are in Japan. One is going to be against Ray Murata.
Oh, okay.
A somewhat unification. And I think he's supposed to fight before that in Japan against maybe a lesser opponent, but we'll see.
Okay. We'll see.
see.
Then got to bring these guys over from England, Chris Eubank Jr. or Andre, who's now out of Britain. Bring them over. Let's see these guys fight.
Yeah, he is on DAZN, right?
Andre.
Yeah. So, Doc, I don't know if you watch. If you didn't watch this fight, we'll skip to the next one. Isaac Pitbull Cruz. This on the undercard. You watch that one? Okay. Yeah. Again, Isaac Pitbull Cruz improves to 22-1 and 15 kills with the unanimous decision of Francisco and Mendido Vargas, 27-3, 19 KOs. It was 97-92, 99-90, 100-89. And I mean, like, so just my opinion quickly on this.
Yeah.
We got Vargas, he's 36. I think that's his age.
I think he's 38.
Huh?
He might be 38.
I know 36.
36? Okay.
He's 36, but the thing is he's 36, but he's an old 36 because he's been in wars. He's been cut a lot.
Cut bad, yeah.
And honestly, in that fight, you could tell that his age definitely showed he was off of everything. Like nothing, It wasn't, I mean, it's a young man's sport.
Yeah, but he went the distance, right?
He went the distance, and I think this guy, Isaac Cruz, he's dirty as hell, man. He's a pretty dirty fighter and an incompetent ref. Incompetent ref in this fight, combined with a dirty fighter, makes for just chaotic scenes.
Absolutely, and was it in the 10th round? In the last round, he got that big cut, Vargas.
Yeah, I think it was the 11th or the 10th. Or
I mean, he just pulled forward. No wonder
Pitbull. Headbutt. It was Pitbull's a great name for him.
It is, but I don't like the comparison with Tyson. Tyson moved his head. This kid does not move his head.
And you can't compare those guys, man. Damn.
No, but
right?
I read it. But that's
really?
What he's being done as the little Tyson. Whatever. And he's not the little Tyson. When he it's lightweight. When he fights a skilled technical boxer,
definitely.
He's not gonna win. That's my prediction anyways.
Yeah.
He comes forward, no head movement, and he's just swinging for the fences on every punch.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're wide punches too.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed at all. No, but I did like Francisco Vargas because he won. He was an Olympian, so he's good. He's got a good background. Yeah. But I mean, and the reason why is because Vargas, he was unbeaten in 24 fights when he was fighting. Well, when he started his career up in the 24 fights, and he had 2 draws in those 24 fights, but one of those included a draw with Salido.
That's right.
So that shows, Salido is really good. And then he's got a win over Takashi Mura.
That's a good win. That's a tough Mura. But again, there's that Vargas never give up, never surrender.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess apparently he had surgery in this time that he was off and whatever to get that repaired, to get the repair done to his face, like a car to get repaired.
Yeah.
Right.
Get scar tissue removed and all that.
Yeah. Okay, then Doc, we'll go to the fight then before this one, and that was a. Did you end up watching that one?
Which one?
Super bantamweight fight between Angelo El Chinquito Leo, 21-1, 9. You missed a good fight, Doc.
I'll go back and watch it. Yeah.
Wow, this was a barn burner fight. Like these guys were throwing nonstop.
Nice.
and I was really impressed with both of them, especially Aaron Almeida, sorry, who okay, so Leo Cruz, Angelo Leo, 21-1-9. He earned a hard-fought majority decision over Aaron Almada, 25-2, 13 KOs. The judges scored at 98-92, which was ridiculous. 96-94, 95-95. This was a really good fight.
Okay.
Leo goes, I knew it was a close fight. Aaron Almeida is a tough fighter. He has 25 wins for a reason, so I knew it was going to be tough. I think I landed more blows. I was a bigger fighter. He didn't throw as much as me. I was more active. The judges had it 200 to 175 for Leo, and edges and power punches landed. The fans booed this decision after. Usually when the fans boo, I side with the fans because usually the fans are correct on their assumption of what happened.
Mm-hmm. And they're also right. They're right there too.
Right. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
did you agree with the fans on this?
Yeah. I thought, no, honestly, yeah, I did. I thought Almada won it. Almeida, he won it. He should have won it. Or no, I think I posted something that it should be a draw. This fight should be a draw.
Right.
A draw would be, they both deserve to win. It was a gutsy, gritty fight. And it was
okay. I'm gonna go back and watch that.
Almada goes, the fans spoke, and they make the best judges. So that's it. Okay, Doc. Then we're going to another fight, but this is at the Don. Wait, this is at the. Oh, this is at the Don Haskins Center, El Paso, Texas. But this is earlier on DAZN, and this is Jaime Munguia. Did you end up watching that one?
The Munguia fight, absolutely.
37-0. Now he's 37-0, 30 KOs. With a knockout victory in 6 rounds over Kamil Szerementa, who took the fight on 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
the Polish guy.
Polish guy, yeah. What did you think, Doc?
So he's got Eric Morales as his trainer.
Yeah.
I did see the influence of Eric Morales in this fight.
The uppercut, In the uppercut.
You got it. And he threw a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he threw many more multi-punch combinations than just a 1-2 punch combination. So you can see he's throwing more and more punches. The uppercut was just ridiculous. It was, that's what ended the fight for him.
Yeah.
I still, he's still open though. I still would like to see more work on the defensive side of his game.
You know what Eric Morales said his philosophy is, and they alluded on it. Offense is a great offense is a great defense. A good offense is a great defense, or whatever they say.
Yeah, so, and I get it, but now he's still gonna be fighting some guys that are defensive and offensive, and I'm just wondering. I mean, it's not gonna take much to get caught. He looked bigger though. Like he looks like he's matured though. Because when we saw him a couple of years ago, I mean, he looked like a tall, lanky kid. Now he looks like
he's filled in.
Yeah, he looked pretty thick in there actually, which works for him. So, but still undefeated. It's hard to criticize, right?
Still undefeated, but has not fought anybody. That with a record of 37-0 and 30 KOs.
Yeah.
Now is the time that it's past time that he needs to fight a recognizable opponent. The one knock on him is that, that fight with Dennis Hogan, right? And he was exposed in that fight that he's such a beatable fighter.
He had that's right, that fight. And also he had a tough fight against the Japanese.
A Japanese, yeah.
I forget his name. So this guy is beatable. And I actually scored Hogan that fight too.
Yeah, I did too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time for him to step up, defend against some bigger names.
Yeah. Okay, then Doc, also then on the same card. Oh, sorry, that this is later on in El Paso, Texas.
Mhm.
We have. Did you see this fight, Doc? A super middleweight belt, Gabriel Rosado, 26 and 13,
Of
won
course.
15 draws, scored a dramatic one-punch knockout over previously undefeated Bektemir Bully Melikuziev, who's now 7-1-6, third round knockout.
Right. So that guy used to be a kickboxer or a karate guy or something like that.
Really?
Right?
Oh, I didn't know that. But he has, I'm sure, huge credentials, obviously from Uzbekistan, one of the powers in boxing, a silver at the Olympics in 2016 Rio, bronze medal at the Worlds in Germany, and silver medal at the World Championships in 2015. So
he's got good amateur experience. I mean, I just love the Philly fighters, right? So one thing, did you see Bernard Hopkins there go nuts?
Yeah.
When I love that. But I noticed he was losing the fight.
For sure.
He was losing the fight, and he took a knee in one of the rounds as well.
Did. Yeah, early.
Smart veteran move.
Yeah, it was.
He was not throwing a lot of punches. He got hit with some hard body shots too. And then in the round, I noticed that he knocked him out. He stayed low. It was almost like, okay, I don't want to get hit down here, so I'm going to stay low.
Yeah.
And that big overhand right knocked him. The guy was out.
And Bully is such a great moniker for a fighter like him, for Bektemir. Those because he was throwing one punch, and there he was had a lot of effect on Rosado, as the indicator when he went down with the body shot. He even said that body, he hurt me to the body, and definitely felt that shot. But that one, amateur boxing and professional is different ballgame.
Did you notice also with that fighter, his hands were always low, and his stance was like not inside. His stance was a little bit outside. I think against, I mean, Rosado's 35, right?
Yeah,
he's 35 years old. So the fact that he knocked this guy out, great on him. But this guy's going to keep going forward again, like defense. And I think Rosado they set that trap for him. They set it. He kept backing up. Okay, boom, like a Manny Pacquiao. When Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez.
Yeah, true. Good. Yeah, good point. Definitely. I feel that, I mean, this is what happened, Doc. So the fight, and I was like, Bektemir is gonna knock him out. This is gonna be easy, quick fight. So we ordered pizza, and it came downstairs, and live in a condo building. It came downstairs. So my wife's like, "Oh, can you go get it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I was about to go, and then boom, we knocked out, and I heard it. I'm like, "What? Oh my god!" And then I was looking at the replays. I'm like, "How did I miss?" You should have won and got that, man. I shouldn't have got that pizza. but then I watched it. I'm like, wow. I mean, so a good fight now would be a really good fight would be Munguia and Rosado on DAZN. They're both. I mean, that's the fight that should be made, because this would be. Munguia, honestly, when he goes to like, can you think of him against like Charlo or GGG or Andre? Like, they'll destroy him.
I think
actually, I'm not too much of an Andre fan, but Ray Murado too. They would kill him, I think.
Yeah, and maybe that's why after 37 fights he hasn't met any of those guys either.
100%.
Plus, he's still pretty young, right?
He is still very young. I think he's like 23 or 4 or something like that.
He's in his early 20s.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they want to pit him up against those guys until he's in his late 20s, or later 20s.
Yeah.
But Rosado would be a good fight for him. And
it'd be a good fight.
Yeah, I would watch that fight. I think that'd be fun. I'm happy for Rosado, man.
I am too. He's a good. I mean, he honestly, with the Jacobs fight, well, I never even saw it really, but I read a lot about it, and a lot of people said he should have won that fight with Jacobs.
Really close fight. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy he's kind of like revived his career again too, and he didn't bleed, which was good.
And you're right, because he always bleeds. He's always gets cut and bleeds. And then so like this guy Bully, he had some good credentials, Doc, like 7-0, right, at the time. But he KO'd this guy Morgan Fitch, who was 19-3. Alan Compa KO'd him, who was 15-4. Oscar Cortez, who was 27-4. Vaughn Alexander, 15-3. Unanimous decision. So I'm just saying, like, all it takes is one punch.
That's it. He was winning the punch. He was winning the fight. And again, he came in aggressive and down he went.
Yeah.
Which shows you got to be smart when you come forward.
Yeah.
Especially against the veteran.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Doc, okay, so we'll hop over to did you see the fight between Isaac Royal Storm Dogbay and Adam Bluno? This was on Top Rank ESPN.
No, I didn't see that one.
No? Okay, we'll just come back to it.
There was another guy, I don't know if you listed Cobb.
I didn't. Blair Cobb with the Blair the Flair Cobb. I'm very high on that kid. He's very good. He just knocked out Solomon.
That's the fight. Right? I watched the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a knockout, right? 6th round?
Yeah, it was a knockout. He's still a little bit wild. He's got to get a little. Yeah, he's a character.
He's a character. He's great for boxing.
Really good. Hits hard. His chin's sitting up a little bit sometimes when he's coming forward, but that's something that can be modified. Yeah. But he throws a lot of punches.
Yeah. And he was talking about the stable that he's in with Freddie Roach at the wild card gym and stuff, and just the amount of training and expertise that he's getting there, and surrounding himself with like this fight with
Solomon.
Yeah, with Solomon, but this fight, but Freddie Roach had 3 guys on his zone card that all won.
All won, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing also was
Rosado and Rosado, Blair Cobbs, and the and the third one was it Dog Bay or I don't know.
I'm not sure. But I think Cobb's got some speed, which was nice to see too.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. He's very good. He's and he's got the personality that makes him people want to watch this type of fighter. He's exciting to watch.
Yes. Yeah. And he comes forward. He's a come forward fighter, which always makes fights more interesting. Yeah. I mean, if that's what you're, for the lay audience, it's much more exciting for them.
And that's what they want. They want to see blood and guts, right?
Yeah.
They want to see that. Okay, so we'll just skip Doc, and then we'll just go we'll skip that Isaac Dogbay fight with Adam Lopez. And Isaac Dogbay got the decision, but I really felt Lopez should have got the win in that fight. I don't know why Dogbay got that fight, but Dogbay, you got to give the kid credit, because one thing is the Ghanaian fighter that he he went down in the weight class because he went up a weight class because he fought Navarrete. And remember, Navarrete really put the beating on him twice.
Yeah.
And then he got out of the weight class and moved up, and now has become didn't deserve the win, but still it was a close fight. That one.
Yeah, excellent.
Doc, then we'll go to the main event. And the main event, this is at the Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas, Nevada. WBA IBF bantamweight champion, now the monster Inoue, now improves to 21-0, 18 kills. He's destroyed mandatory challenger Michael Hot and Spicy DAZN, 30-3-1, 20 kills. It was a 3-round knockout.
Yeah.
What did you think of the monster?
Oh, he looked so good. He looked in total control. He knows how to cut off the ring.
Yeah.
He's on his back foot is always on the ball of his foot. He's always on the ball of his foot. It's not sitting flat. So he moves really well forward and backward.
Mm-hmm.
He sets up that left. He's got power in both hands. That left hand to the body. Holy smokes. And he sets it up with his right. So he goes a hard right.
Yeah.
That guy came in this way and then bang, right in the lip.
He did the uppercut thing that Canelo does, but he didn't do it like Canelo. He just went bang and then bang, and then go boom, boom like that. But he did that uppercut body shot, bang, and he does Martinez drop like a bad habit.
Few times.
Yeah, a few times.
In the second round, and then again a couple times in the third, and then it was over. Man, he looked so good. He looks so good, and he's calm. He sees things coming his way. He moves. His in-out game is perfect. His distance, he's got that under control. He's very calm when he cuts off the ring too. It's deceiving, but he does very smooth.
He's 28 years old. He's well into his prime now. Like, he's at the top of his game. And we've seen him fight numerous times, right? And this guy has no flaws. One thing we can say is that, I mean, okay, Nonito Donaire in that fight, Donaire is like a Hall of Famer for sure. And when they fought last December, he broke his orbital bone too. Donaire broke Inoue's orbital bone
early in the fight too.
Yeah, early in the fight. So we can say that, but we don't really have much to go on in a negative light towards this guy. He seemed Japanese fighters in the lower weight classes are superb. Inoue's prime example.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's like ranked third in the pound for pound.
Yeah, and depending on which pound for pound you look at, because he's always been in the 1, 2, or 3 in a lot of the top 10 rank, top 10 pound for pound rankings by different organizations and not organization, but different magazines like Ring, like whatever, have their top 10. He's always in 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah,
like that,
and rightly so. Now,
exactly.
Now there's a nice little dynamic happening in that weight class involving him, Donaire, Rigondeaux, and
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like that, the excitement there is huge. Is huge in that weight class, because the news that broke on the week last week, earlier was it Friday or something?
Yeah.
That so Nonito Donaire, the talk was that Donaire is gonna fight Casimiro was gonna fight Guillermo Rigondeaux, John Real Casimiro, the Filipino, was gonna fight Rigondeaux. Apparently Rigondeaux took the step aside to allow Nonito Donaire, because I was reading Donaire's Instagram. He was saying big news coming up, and I'm like, what's he gonna say? Big news coming up, and then the next day it was this that Danilo Donaire now is gonna fight John Real Casimero, and we're talking like soon. Like this fight is gonna happen August 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be a great fight. The thing is, it's gonna be a great fight just because of Casemiro. That if you look at his record, like his record is good. Like he's 30-4, 21 KOs, right? He's
Yeah.
32 years old, but he's got one win that for me that makes him really stand out, and that's a knockout of Zolani Tete. And Zolani Tete, I always remember, I was in that weight class too in professional boxing at 119 and in the UK, because I was fighting over there too. Zolani Tete was the guy at bantamweight for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And Casemiro knocked him out.
Yeah.
Knocked him out.
Yeah, that's probably his biggest win, right?
Yeah, that's his biggest win. And then he fought another guy, Duke Micah from Ghana, was 24-0, and he KO'd him too. Those are the biggest wins.
Yes.
But he's a big puncher and reckless, and he's confident. Like he's confident. So he's saying, he's like, when he was questioning, because he was at ringside for
I saw that
for that Inoue fight, and so was Inoue Donaire.
Yeah.
It's like it was a great performance by Inoue. Casemiro was telling Bernard Suna from ESPN, he's really good. He's like, but Michael Decimir, he fought scared and showed way too much respect. But it was a great fight to see now alive. At the moment, my focus is on Donaire. I will do everything I can to beat him. After that, I will take care of Inoue. That's what he's saying.
Well, he wouldn't get to fight Inoue because right off the bat, because he would have to fight Rigondeaux, because that's the step, right?
Well, the thing is this, Doc. Yeah, Rigondeaux. Look, he took that step aside. I'm sure they gave him money to step aside.
Yeah,
because the fans don't want to see him fight. They don't want to see him in this mix. Really, I don't really want to see him really in this mix. I mean, I would kind of be interested in him because he really took Donaire to school, and no one schooled Donaire like Rigondeaux did.
True.
But it's different now. We're talking almost a 40-year-old Rigondeaux standing there and not going anywhere, and a hard puncher like Donaire would knock him out.
And also remember when Rigondeaux fought Donaire, he was undefeated.
Right. Yeah.
Now we've got a kind of a humiliating loss on his record. That's gotta affect him mentally.
Yeah.
And plus he's 40. It'll be a different fight than the first time he fought Donaire. If Donaire beats
Casemiro. Yeah. Right.
And then the winner of that then gets Inoue, because that's been Donaire's goal.
Exactly. Yeah. He wants that rematch with Inoue. Yeah. He wants that rematch. That's what he said. That's what's gonna happen. Look, you know what happens with the Cuban fighters. Like look at Lara, look at now Rigondeaux. They get shunned out because
I know,
because their style is not the fan friendly that we want to watch. My opinion. Look, I shared the ring with Rigondeaux. I know how good he is. I've seen the guy. I've seen it in front of me. I couldn't even touch a guy. He's that good. But pro boxing is different, and he's got to be an entertainer, and he's not really that.
No, and that's very true. But at least like Lara in his last fight, he was more aggressive. He was not just moving around the ring.
He not the first round knockout.
Yeah.
First round knockout. Yeah.
Maybe he's changing. Maybe he's evolving to what the North American game is of boxing, and that's action.
But
But Rigondo, no. Rigondeaux, no.
yeah.
He hasn't. He still does the same stuff, and he does it very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be a very different rematch if it happens with Donaire.
Donaire, yeah. I don't think, like, let's see what happens in this fight. I mean, this is great. This fight's going to be in Carson, California, Dignity Sport, and there's a huge Filipino population there too.
Yeah.
So this fight's going to be one for the ages. 2 Filipino fighters going.
Oh, it's awesome.
Going at it.
It's awesome.
And then
August is going to be. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. August is going to be full of fights, right?
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing month. Plus, you got the Spence fight too. The Spence Pacquiao fight.
Shoot, we can't forget about that one.
Yeah.
And
okay. Spence was in the audience at the Charlo fight too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they're boys. Charlo's his boy. Like they're friends. Like they're from Texas.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes
Dallas, and Houston, and I really admire Charlo. I really admire him. He's like an Andre Ward to me, that was with the same woman for all his career, like through the thick and thin, had like a family, they had kids and all that, stayed with, and he built an empire. Like Charlo's getting paid, man. Like if you see his house and everything, he's really well. But he talked about it too. He's like, I didn't have anything. I remember when I was fighting, they didn't even want to sign him. I guess he wasn't even signed at first, and then he got signed and whatever. He built his way up into. These guys had this mindset, like in the head.
I like him too.
Yeah, he's the better of the Charlos, the good twin. Then Doc, so then we'll go the other fights that are happening coming up, and then we'll go to on the weekend. We got the big Showtime pay-per-view fight, and we got Mario Barrios versus Gervonta Davis, and this is for Barrios' WBO junior welterweight title. So Gervonta going up 2 weight classes at 140. And let's see, I don't know much about Barrios. Do you, Doc?
I've watched the Showtime where it's just been 2 episodes.
Right.
I think I have seen a couple of his fights, but a little while ago. It's always intriguing to me when this heavy puncher like Tank Davis comes up in weight to a higher weight class. He's a big puncher. It's always a question, does he carry that against a much bigger guy? Not just bigger, because that's his natural weight parts.
Yeah.
But he's taller.
Yeah.
He's got a longer reach.
Yeah.
He's that Azteca Mexican. He's tough as nails.
Yeah.
This is going to be an intriguing fight. And he can fight. Virgil Hunter is his trainer.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Virgil Hunter. Yeah.
So this is going to be I think it's going to be a very interesting fight to see if Tank Davis can do it at that weight class.
Yeah.
Like that is a big jump, don't you think?
It is a big jump. He's trying to chase greatness, and I think for sure his power that will definitely carry. He carries that power. I think he carries that even further than 140, but I don't think he'll move past 140 because he's way too short for any other weight class.
Yeah, I agree. And but just watching him train, he looks like he put the weight on, but properly.
Yeah.
Like he looked thicker, more muscular.
Yeah.
He wasn't so thin in his waist. Yeah. Like I think he's done it right.
Yeah. Still training with all the sauna suit on all the time and stuff. You see all videos are with a sauna suit on.
Yeah. And he runs in like 100 degrees, right? So I his conditioning is not going to be an issue. Same with Barrios' conditioning. but I think it'll be a really interesting fight. I
Will
rewatched
we? Yeah.
I
Sorry.
rewatched his fight with Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
It was a really good fight. Like Leo was doing well
He
too.
was definitely, yeah.
It was back and forth. But this kid's got the killer instinct, Davis.
Yeah, he does for sure.
Yeah.
So how you were saying that, Doc, like you rewatched that, and that could be kind of like a prototype for what Barrios is gonna do too. I mean, Barrios is bigger. Like he could be the bigger version of Leo Santa Cruz that can give Tank those problems, but at a more you know what I'm trying to say, like it's gonna be more of a problem because his weight's bigger and he punches more harder, and you know.
Yes, that's a really good point. That is a really good point. And he's a skilled boxer.
Yeah,
he is a boxer. He's not a brawler. He is a boxer. But that's a really good analogy. And probably they'll look at that blueprint.
I think so because that, like, really Leo Santa Cruz really he wrote the blueprint there on. He was doing very well for himself in that fight until that knockout was concussive. But with the concussive knockout, the brain just rattled. It's concussive. But
that's still funny.
that was a crazy knockout.
That was crazy. But just watching that fight, like Santa Cruz had his moments, and his moments came when he was pushing, making Davis go backwards.
Yeah.
But Davis, he still got some tricky. Even when he's going backwards, he's got some tricky shots he throws. So you gotta still be careful. You gotta be smart when you come forward on Davis.
Definitely.
And defensively, he's got great head movement. He controls his distance well. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a good fight. I'm actually very excited for this.
I'm so excited for that. And definitely be watching that fight card.
You got it. But I'm disappointed too because there was a cancellation with Colbert, right?
Oh man.
Read about
that? No, but Doc, but there's a new opponent. And it's a sick opponent. It's but Uzbekistan, the Tug. I forget how to pronounce the name. Another Olympian silver medalist, whatever. I think he's undefeated.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
So you're right. Yeah, I was really interested to see him in Gamboa and see how much Gamboa, but just to see Chris Colbert because he's prime time. He's very, very good fighter.
Well, that would have been and then you got Gamboa's name, so it would have been an intriguing fight to see how it worked out.
But there's another fight on this card too, is Ariston Lubin and Jason Rosario. So, like Ariston Lubin, at one time, I thought Ariston Lubin was I was really high on him until he got knocked out by Charlo.
Yeah,
it
was just too soon, right? Don't you think?
It was too soon. That fight was too soon. He was too young.
Yeah, I agree.
But he's building himself back up, and let's see what he does with Jason Rosario. Because this will be a good test for him too.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to that also. But also, Julian Williams was supposed to fight.
He was,
but he got an elbow injury.
Yeah.
That's a shame because I would have liked, even though he also got knocked out, right? But he, I remember
Charlo.
What a beautiful Charlo. But he had this fight before that against Hurd.
Yeah,
Jared Hurd was a beautiful fight.
Yeah.
So, on the one hand, we're not going to get to see Julian because he is a talented fighter. But at least we got these other fights.
Yeah. And then we got on, the same day on ESPN in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is bumping, man, with all that, except for Atlanta, that fight, the Showtime was in Atlanta. But then we got Vasily Lomachenko making his comeback after his loss to Teofimo Lopez. We haven't heard from him, and we haven't seen him in a while. I mean, maybe it's better because what he was talking about the things he was saying about his loss, saying that real boxing fans would appreciate him. I collected data for 10 rounds or 11 rounds, and real fans should, but it was, anyways, he's back and he's fighting Mayoshi Nakatani.
Yeah.
And we know about Nakatani. He gave Teofimo. I really respect that about Lomachenko coming back and fighting the guy purposely. These matchmakers this is what they do purposely. They match fighters for exact reasons, specific reasons, right?
Yeah. And he's sorry, go ahead.
No, and I was just gonna say Nakatani, he gave Teofimo a very tough and very close fight, which some people say could have went in Nakatani's favor.
Yeah, that fight went 12 rounds. I still edged it out to Lopez that fight, but you're right about how they're matching this matchmaking, and I think Lomachenko wants to make a big statement in this
He
fight.
does. We can't forget Lomachenko is a pound for pound. He was a pound for pound best. He was the Matrix. He was the guy that was bringing fans to the sport. That, hey, you got to watch this guy, and you see him do all these moves. And it was unbelievable. Let's see if he can get that back.
Yeah, and even the fight with Lopez, it was a close fight because of the second half of the fight. But Lopez winning the 12th round, my scoring made a difference and won him the I scored at 7-5.
Yeah. Yeah. Me personally, I thought that Lopez, obviously he won the first half of the fight, more than half the fight. He's just bigger, stronger, and faster than Lomachenko is. Lomachenko, we can't forget, he's a 126-pound featherweight that's moved up to 135, from 130 to 135. So
it'll be also interesting to see if he put a little more weight on for this fight against a Japanese fighter.
We have a big dilemma here. Like, what do we watch? Do we watch Tank Davis or do we watch Lomachenko?
Yeah, I gotta first. I'm just really curious about this Tank Davis.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm edging towards that, and I'll watch Loma the next morning.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Not look at any social media results or whatever, and I'll watch it the next day.
Yeah, you got it. But at least we got all these fights.
I know. What other fights are? Oh, hey, we're at an hour.
All right, buddy.
Let me just look at one quick fight. Okay, this is who Chris Colbert is fighting. Tugstad Nyambra. He's wait.
What's his record?
No, that's on July 3rd.
Okay.
That's not even on this card now.
Okay.
It's off the card, but he's fighting an opponent on July 3rd.
Okay. He was supposed to fight.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight Gamboa.
Yeah, Gamboa.
Yeah.
So that's been delayed. Okay. So that frees up a little bit of time.
Yeah, just more and more fights, man.
Oh, man. It's crazy. This summer's going to be crazy with fights. I love it.
I know. I just want to keep good looking at these fights. But do you follow Dan Rafael?
Yeah, I do. I get his.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Because that's what he updated today or yesterday. He updated about the injuries. Yeah.
Today he did already. Yeah. He's got every fight, all the fights.
Yeah.
Just quickly, on the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, that's July 24th, dude, right?
Yep.
That's coming up.
Yep.
Robert Helenius is fighting Adam Komaki. And F.A. Jogbe is fighting Frank Sanchez. That's going to be a really good fight. Those are both undefeated heavyweights.
Yes.
The Cuban Sanchez.
Yeah. but I've been watching the last few fights of the
Fa,
yeah,
Nigerian.
so, Nigerian, and
Yeah.
like the guy's physique is sick, man.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, and
Phenomenal.
he's knocking guys out. So let's see how this will be a nice fight to watch. And then
Yeah.
this has got to put him into the mix with the heavyweights.
With Dogway?
Yeah, he's got to be in the mix if he wins this next fight.
Yeah.
But as far as my prediction for Wilder, I think we talked about this, Fury Wilder.
Yeah.
I think Fury's going to just manhandle him, no problem.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too, but honestly, there's a part of me that says maybe not, because I'm not too I'm not too confident like the condition that Tyson Fury's in right now. Like, is he ready? Is he like, I'm sure, no, I actually can't second guess Sugar Hill. He's with Sugar Hill. You know, he's definitely not gonna.
And he's been already, and he's already getting ready.
Yeah, true.
Joshua.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think he is gonna win this fight, and I think he's gonna do it I think he's gonna win impressively too again.
Yeah.
I mean, he may be learning some new stuff, Wilder, but once the fight happens,
once the bell rings, you forget about that, man.
Yeah, what he's been doing is going to just take over.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why he's not going to win the fight, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
let's see. I love surprises too.
Yeah, for sure. That one thing that's so appealing about Deontay Wilder, the bronze bomber, he got that knockout power.
Boy, does he, man.
Yeah, boy, does he. Exactly. Yeah. All right, Doc. We out of here. All right. Till then.
Okay, man.
All right.
We'll see you next week. 49. Right. We're approaching 50.
I know.
Half a century.
Yeah, I know. Hey, can you believe it?